Hello and welcome to NerdVsWorld, episode 43, Invasion of the Nerd Snatchers. Now, it's been a while since we last had an episode, so there's a lot to catch up on today.
Hells yes.
So we will be covering the Star Wars trailer and some fight from that, because we haven't spoken about that yet.
And a lot of the news that was released as of yesterday
Star Wars Day.
Yes.
We've got Age of Ultron catch-up.
Superhero smorgasbord.
Yeah, Daredevil catch-up. There's some Suicide Squad stuff to talk about. Yeah, we got crowdfunding corner.
Crowdfunder corner, yeah. An update on conventions. Depending if we've got time, possibly once again singing the praises of Elon Musk and his amazing inventions.
God, yes, it's Powerwall. And yeah, yours truly entered the regional finals of the Settlers of Catan tournament at the weekend.
Go you!
and I'm now at the national, so you can see me at the UK Games Expo at the end of May, competing in the national finals of Settlers of Catan. Yes, it's a real thing, folks.
It is.
It's a real thing.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
I think that's awesome. Well done on that, dude. I'm utterly stoked for you. That was brilliant.
Should we just start with that then? Just start there.
Why the hell not?
So yeah, I went to Thursday.
How did it come about, first of all? How did you find out about it?
I met up with a friend on Thursday.
Because I played Catan
last week. Just like, hadn't chatted to her for a while, so we went out for board games and coffee. And on the board at 30 Meeples, I saw Catan tournament this Sunday. I was like, oh, I might enter that. So I did.
You did. Fair.
But you didn't know it was a qualifier for a national event.
No. So I was kind of like, I bought my ticket for it, and then they were like, okay, so the winner gets a first round buy. They also get all this stuff as well, like a board game, and everyone got free Munchkin bookmarks.
Ah, cool.
That also doubled as cards for their relative Munchkin games. They had rules on the bookmark so you could play it.
Sweet.
As a card. And then I got my ticket to the national finals. I finished third.
Nicely done.
So it was a round robin tournament. Essentially, there were 3 rounds. For each game, the winner got 5 points, second place got 2 points, and that was it. And then after 3 rounds had finished, the 4 players with the highest points totals went to the final table and sort of the showdown to the death. And I found out afterwards the person who finished second was the 2013 UK champion and had gone to the States, all expenses paid, to take part in the World Championships that year. And the guy who won it had won 2 of the round matches, so he'd been the most consistent player all tournament. But it was so bizarre. I mean, I've sat through fields of like 200 plus players before, in casinos playing in poker tournaments and reached final tables. This was just more tense. I can't tell you why this was more tense, but it just was. It was so bizarre. But just the most wonderful experience. And Thirsty Meeples is just the perfect place to...
No, it's an awesome place.
Yeah, it's like the one place in Oxford my anxiety will let me go, you know?
Oh, that's cool.
I always feel so chilled there. People were talking about it, saying, what's it like? I was like...
Well,
yeah,
maybe we need NerdVsWorld. Maybe we could get in touch with the guys at Thirsty Meeple and do something there.
Yeah,
some kind of a NerdVsWorld event.
Yeah, maybe, or just have them on the show and just chat nerdy stuff with them. Because,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, start with. Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting. I had my strategies going in as well. I mean, I haven't played Catan for like 7 months. But it is the sort of go-to game that my group back in Worcester used to always play.
Right, okay.
But with all the expansions, this was just basic set.
Right, okay. So it wasn't like Star Trek Catan.
No. It's just a basic set, no expansion, so no knights and cities, no seafarers, just the plain set. And I had my strategy. I wrote like nearly 2,000 words as a write-up for the tournament in which I outlined my strategy and where it went wrong and everything. That's the most words I've written in the shortest amount of time ever. Maybe since the day
inspiration helps.
Maybe since the day before my dissertation was due in. It's probably the last I wrote so many words so quickly. But yeah, it was just so much fun, and like meeting people. I mean, like people who know me outside of this podcast and know me in real life know that I'm not really great at meeting people for the first time. I'm kind of a little bit withdrawn, a little bit anxious about new faces. But like I said, Thirsty Meeples, the vibe of that place is you just feel chilled straight away. Yeah. So,
Sweet. Well done. Well, yeah, the whole review is up on the site, so you can read the blow by blow.
Yeah, there's like 79 players for me to beat now at the Nationals, and then I think it's a trip to the World Finals in America for the winner.
Ooh, nice.
Pretty sweet. But yeah, so I'll be at the UK Games Expo in a semi-official capacity, just like enjoying the event for the weekend and blogging about it. But on Saturday I'll be there competing, which is something I never thought I'd ever say.
Good stuff.
But I'll be competing. So yeah.
Yeah, another notch in that staff of professional nerddom.
I know, right? Pretty sweet. Kind of loving it. So yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Good weekend all round.
Mm.
Cool. So now, less about me, more about general nerd culture, I suppose.
Well, I mean, you were saying about the amount you wrote, so it kind of segues in nicely to you did an impressive review of Age of Ultron.
Oh, thank you.
I thought it was excellent. It was really well done. Excellent review. It got reposted a hell of a lot by people, so a lot of people seem to like it. So
I kind of tried to make it as spoiler-free as possible. I think there was one message I got saying, "Dude, this is a spoiler," which I think we all agree is at a stretch could have been considered one. So I removed it anyway because I don't like spoiling something deliberately or inadvertently. But yeah, it was a good film.
And that aside, spoiler warning.
Oh yeah, it's been out for a couple of weeks now, so.
Well, yeah. So, as of us recording this, it's just had its first weekend in America.
Yeah, so it's been out for at least 2 weeks in the UK. Yeah. So maybe have a discussion about spoilers later on. What constitutes a spoiler? Because that's confused me. I think anything implied or expected could be considered to not be a spoiler if you talk about it in a review. It is hard to review a film without giving away spoilers sometimes, though.
It is, yeah, but I mean, I guess
it can be done.
It's part of the skill. I mean, it's been being done for years. Yeah. You know, Empire's been running 25 years or something now, and you know, film reviews are something that you have to do, and you have to give an overall impression of the film and critique of the film, but not necessarily giving a blow by blow of what happens in the film.
I don't think I really go into plot very much at all in any of my reviews. I can give a broad stroke intro and then talk about character.
There's certain points though. It's not. Yeah, you're not given a plot descriptive.
But I like talking about character, and that's kind of what I liked about Age of Ultron more than anything else. Was it's a character piece.
Yeah.
Less so than the first Avengers, but you jump straight back into the action, and the banter and the dialogue and the interplay between the characters. You just feel like you've never been away.
So yeah, I think the pacing for it was a very interesting way to go, in my opinion, because it started out with like the massive big bang. Here's a massive scrap. You're dumped right in the middle of it. Yeah. Without any kind of introduction to it. It's just here's a fight.
I think American audiences will have got an introduction because there was a crossover with Agents of
S.H.I.E.L.D. I think there was a crossover with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I'm yet to see that crossover episode.
Okay, it was very briefly mentioned last.
It was mentioned because I saw that there were mentions of Strucker and things in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I've not seen. Well, I don't think it's out yet. The actual episode that ties in after. Yeah, I've seen the one that leads up to it, not the one after.
Yeah, Project Theta.
Yeah,
as I talk about, is the Avengers.
So yeah, I think they've done very well in crossing it over with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just think for us in the UK, the timing didn't work.
No.
Because we got it a week early. So that was kind of a bit weird.
But you didn't need to have the crossover.
No, you didn't. No, it was just it was nice, just extra added nerd bonus stuff. If you But yeah, I think the pacing was brilliant. I say it kicked off and then it slowed down a bit and then gave you some spiel about what was going on and took it from there. So. Yeah, it was an interesting way of flipping it round to introducing all the characters first and then doing that. So it gave you that same payoff shot from the end of Avengers of all of them fighting in one big shot.
Yeah.
And it did that in the opening 5 minutes. So it's like, there you go, it's happened now. Now I'll concentrate on the rest of the film.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very clever.
Yeah. It just established everything really early on. I loved Scarlet Witch. Elizabeth Olsen is new crush of the
Brendan's
week.
crush of the week.
Yeah. If you didn't see that coming, then naive. That's just naive. But I love the character, and I love the way they used her mind control powers to flesh out other characters.
Yes, yeah. So she was used to essentially bring to the fore either bits of their backstory or, you know, bits of their character that might not necessarily have got as much screen time.
Yeah. I love how self-aware it was as well when she tries to mind control Clint. And he's like, nope, done that.
Yeah, been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Yeah, it just felt like... It felt like her presence in the movie had a purpose, and it wasn't just a case of adding more characters to the roster as quickly as possible. And from from a narrative point of view, it worked really well.
But I think, in my opinion, if there was one failing on the film, it was in the amount of characters it tried to introduce and the amount of plot lines it tried to A, wrap up, and B, set up.
Yeah.
I think that was the issue for me.
I think that was one of my main issues in the review. It felt kind of like a placeholder piece.
Very much so.
Yeah, it felt like it was setting up Civil War and it was setting up Infinity War.
Well, it was basically setting up the whole of Phase 3.
Yeah. Well, Phase 2 hasn't finished yet.
This is where I got confused.
Yeah, Ant-Man is the last of Phase 2.
I was under the impression that Ant-Man was the beginning of Phase 3.
Originally it was meant to be,
yeah.
but it was pushed forward to Phase 2. So Phase 2 hasn't wrapped yet. But yeah, no. And they cut too much of Thor's storyline out as well. Apparently, in the test audience views, his story didn't make much sense. People didn't really respond to it, but the feeling is that's because it was before effects had been added, so it didn't look right. But yeah, Joss Whedon was saying there's a 194-minute cut of the movie.
Wow.
Which is over 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 1/4. Yeah.
Which I just want to see.
Definitely.
And I think that'll be on. I think there'll be a director's cut maybe on the Blu-ray, or if not, there'll be a shit ton of deleted scenes.
This just means that I now have to wait for another film before I can buy my box set of Phase 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
God damn you, Marvel! Crowbarring in another movie.
Yeah.
As if they release one, because now there might be too many films now for a box set. I might just go back and buy them all individually.
I don't own them all.
I don't own any of them. I've specifically held off because I bought that first Avengers box set of, you know, all the movies leading up to and including Avengers Assemble. And then they were like, and Phase 2 is going to be all the movies leading up to and finishing with Avengers 2. But now it's Avengers 2 and Ant-Man! Bastards! Because I really can't see what Ant-Man's going to bring to close off Phase 2.
Neither can I. Unless that's where they drop Spider-Man in the end credit tease.
Possibly, but that will just be an end credit tease that they could have dropped in at the end of Avengers.
Didn't have it. I don't think Avengers was the right feel for a Spider-Man tease.
Possibly not, no. But then again, I would have thought that the bigger Phase 3 movies would work for that. If anything, I would have thought Captain America would have been the place to tease it. Captain America 3. Because with all the Civil War stuff, that's the point where Spidey should theoretically be getting involved.
Yeah. Captain America Civil War is essentially Avengers 2.5.
It is, yeah. List. Yeah. And
they've added someone else to it today. Martin Freeman's been added to the cast.
Has he really? Who's he?
They haven't named his character yet, but he's been added to the cast.
Because that was a big thing. I don't know how much you know about the Civil War plotline, AD. Right, okay.
I don't know a lot about it.
It's a big thing in terms of the comics. It was something that happened as a crossover thing a couple of years ago, which is about essentially mutant registration.
Yeah.
So it's about registering powered people, and so it's Captain America on one side and Iron Man on the other. With Captain America being pro-registration, Iron Man being anti-registration. And it's about getting the two camps who are fighting against each other.
Essentially, it differs from mutant registration somewhat, but it's the same sort of thing. It's the Superhero Registration Act. Yeah. Where mass superheroes...
The Keene Act in terms of...
I'm sure I've read a load of comic books with that. Yeah.
So there was a lot of that being set up in this film with a lot of the conflict between Iron Man and Captain America. So I think that they spent a lot of time focusing on basically justifying why that's going to happen in the next film, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, one tweeter that I've been interacting with is of the opinion that more named characters should be dying in these films because there's no risk. And Joss Whedon isn't averse to killing characters, so why hasn't he killed any big characters? I mean, he does in Age of Ultron, but it's kind of a throwaway thing. I think you're going to get that wish in Civil War, especially if it sticks to the comic book. If it sticks to the comic book storyline, then there is going to be a huge death at the end of Civil War.
Yeah.
And that's possibly where you might get a Spidey tease in the post-credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why the rumours about the rest of Phase 3 and Infinity War in particular are that the first part of Infinity War won't see the Avengers as we know them. They'll be the new Avengers.
Yes, so it'll be...
Because the Cap will be dead, Thor will be dead, Iron Man stepped away following Civil War and is just in the background, and it will be the new Avengers. But then they're all signed on for Infinity War Part 2, so somehow they're going to come back. But it's the comics, so there's always a way to.
So
bring them
you
back.
can always bring people back, no matter how many times you
whether it's the sort of the cyborg Thor. Or
I refer you to Days of Future Past and retcon.
Yeah. But yeah.
So it's interesting, but I think it's expanding the slate again of the movies. So you now crowbarring in a Spider-Man movie into Phase 3. Yeah. So Phase 3 is now stretching out to being something like 8 films, 9 films, maybe even 10.
And it's going to be even bigger as well because they have announced that Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, aka Jessica Jones, and the Hell's Kitchen Defenders miniseries will all cross over with Infinity War Part 2, and those characters will be in the Avengers film. They will cross the universe. So that's exciting.
So let's talk about that.
Well, Daredevil.
Yeah. Because we've not spoken about that yet. It's been out for a few weeks. I must admit, I binge watched it all.
Now, isn't it?
It'll be about a month. Yeah.
I literally put on episode 1, and before I knew it, the entire season had finished.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. Unfortunately, mine was spread over 2 days, but
I think mine was over 2 days, but it was pretty hardcore.
It was binge watched.
Yeah.
I ate so much pie watching that.
Was it
an
was
entire
it pie or was
it was banoffee pie. I think banoffee pie or key lime. Those are my go-to pies at the moment. So yeah, that was.
So thoughts on Daredevil?
It was amazing. It was just I never thought I would see a comic book show quite like that.
Yeah,
it was
pretty hardcore. It was a lot squishier than I thought.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about the fight scene at the end of
episode 2. Stunning,
brilliant,
all done in one shot.
Yeah,
that was awesome. But the standout bit from the series for me, the bit that I wasn't expecting to see, and which made me go, fuck, was when the guy Murdoch beats up finally gives up Fisk's name.
Yeah.
And he looks around at the pipe sort of sticking out the wall and says, "You should have just killed me," and then headbutts the pipe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dark.
This is not PG-13 MCU cinema stuff. This is like, if we're doing Hell's Kitchen miniseries, we're going to go dark with it.
That was the clincher that made me watch the rest of it. Because I was still a little bit undecided.
It had me hooked from the end. It was episode 2. That fight scene I thought was amazing. I was watching that and I just had to go back and rewatch it. Oddly enough, there was a similar thing happened in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last week. There was a big fight scene with Skye, and it was one shot, jumping around the room, big fight scene. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It was the end of an episode again. I was like, holy shit, I had to go back and rewatch it. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah. An entirely separate thing, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has really picked up its game.
Very much so, yes.
I'm loving the Inhumans tease.
Yes.
But yeah, no.
Sorry, yes.
Daredevil.
Back to Daredevil.
Casting was inspired throughout, in my opinion. There wasn't a single bit of casting I'd gone, I'd have changed that.
I think I was a bit irritated with Rosario Dawson's character disappearing for about 5 episodes.
But she's gonna she's Night Nurse, isn't she?
Yeah, but she was there and she was massively involved in the plot, and then all the kind of the chaos all went off. She went back to the hospital, and
there was
then
no explanation.
And there was no, and then she was just gone.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
For about 4 episodes, and then they came back.
Suddenly she's back, and
then she was back again.
Hunky-dory.
Yeah. So that was a bit weird.
And
I was kind of like, why is she gone? They didn't fall out. They didn't.
No,
they,
but
they were
it was the explanation
well.
when she came back, when she first came back into it. Then they made the explanation for what happened 4 episodes ago.
I just didn't miss it.
I suppose when you're binge watching it, it's not so obvious. Yeah. But I think we'd probably taken a break between some of the episodes. I think it was just like, where the fuck is she? She's not been in it for like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, it was one giant episode.
yeah. It was like a 10-hour film.
Yeah. Vincent D'Onofrio was.
Oh, he was stunning.
Awesome as Fist.
Because he flipped between you actually going, oh, poor him.
It's like
and. Holy shit! He just did what?
It's the Joe Abercrombie sort of approach to writing dastardly characters. You
find yourself siding with him for quite a lot of it, and then all of a sudden he just does something so unbelievably unpleasant that you're just like, oh, that was severe. Yeah. But no, really, really, really good show. And if that is any indication of what the others are going to be like, because I mean, aka Jessica Jones, Alias is bleak enough. The comics that that's based on. So, fucking the series of that is going to be hard.
There is talk going around that because of Daredevil's success, which has already been picked up for a 2nd season, which will be out next year.
Not soon enough.
Agreed, but
I think all of us were like, "That's excellent."
Patience
season 2 next week, is it?
Patience Grasshopper, it will be out. People are sort of like muttering the name Punisher in hushed tones. Tom Hardy today came out and said that he would love to play the Punisher.
I think he'd do good at that.
He's dropped out the Suicide Squad movie now, so he's completely free, but he still wants to be involved in superheroes in some way, and he wants to do the Punisher, which would be cool.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
And I think Netflix would be the ideal platform for it.
Yep.
Because they'd
make it.
Yeah, they don't pull punches with their stuff.
Fingers crossed they would make it right.
I don't think any of the shows. I mean, stuff like Hemlock Grove and things that they're producing is just dark.
I fucking love it.
Oh yeah, Hemlock Grove's great. That should be back for a 3rd season soon.
Apart from the end of season 2 was a little bit sketchy.
Well, yeah.
Anyway,
we'll see.
Digressing again.
That's still on the same topic. Netflix, yeah. We love you, Netflix.
We do.
So how about all the Easter eggs in Daredevil then?
There were a lot. Yeah.
The law officers. If you looked at the name on the back of the door, it's like partly scrubbed out. That's Van Zandt. Van Zandt Industry, which are the guys who were hosting the event at which Fisk's lovely wife was, girlfriend at that time, was poisoned.
Yes.
The Atlas,
still not married yet.
The Atlas Comics logo.
Did we actually get to see Avengers Tower? Because it was there was some kind of poster or something. Because I was looking out for it. Yeah, well, Avengers Tower as it is now. It was Stark Tower, now Avengers Tower. Because I remember there was somebody said about it and that they'd seen it in a trailer, and I was looking out for it throughout the entire thing, and I don't remember seeing it. So maybe it was just a false Easter egg. Because I was always scanning the skyline because it was New York.
But
they do reference Hell's Kitchen in Avengers. I'm fairly certain they reference something going on in Hell's Kitchen during the Avengers Age of Ultron.
Maybe.
I'm fairly certain they did.
No, is it just me or on the intro? Whether it's
I think there's something about because I think when everything went screwy and lots of stuff happened in Hell's Kitchen, I think that it got mentioned when everything got blown up and things. I can't remember.
Well,
something in my mind said that there was a reference.
I'm watching it again on Thursday, so
Right,
I'll keep an ear out for.
Sorry, you didn't want to talk about it.
No, it's fine. You had a point to get out before you went.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. Carry on.
Yeah, you were going to say something.
Yeah, the intro bit with the cartoony-esque bit at the beginning. Now, to me, it looked like there was slight differences in it. So I'm wondering perhaps maybe the tower was in amongst that at some point because it scans the skyline.
That's just the red being poured over the.
Yeah, but there's little drawings in the backgrounds of it.
It does.
There's tiny drawings in the background of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that it may have been, if it was anywhere, it would have been in the scenes at the very, very beginning where they're doing all the rebuilding and the post-Chitauri invasion stuff.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool as well, in that, like, they're adding consequence.
Yes, very much so.
But yeah.
Because, I guess that was the thing is, I'm interested to see how they deal with the fallout of Age of Ultron in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because there was some big-ass destruction going on there.
Well, yeah. There was a huge piece.
Yeah.
I mean, that finale for Age of Ultron, that couldn't have happened in any other movie of any other genre.
No.
It just couldn't. It wouldn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in the Avengers.
No, very true.
And Hawkeye is very much the audience surrogate when he's talking to Scarlet Witch at the end, and he outlines exactly what's happening, and you're just thinking, yeah, I can't believe it either. And yet somehow it's working really fucking well.
And sorry to be bouncing about a bit, but wasn't James Spader awesome?
Oh my god. he was
absolutely
perfect.
Brilliant. Just the first time you see Ultron and he's just limping out, pissing hydraulic fluid. It's stunningly good.
Have you noticed the running theme in Phase 2 of people losing arms?
No.
In every Phase 2 movie, someone's lost an arm.
Have they really?
It's a deliberate nod of the head to Star Wars.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, and Ulysses Claw loses it.
Yes.
In Age of Ultron, and Ultron's response is just magnificent. But yeah, the film was just filled with so many good one-liners. Like, even to the extent of Puny God from the first one, in my opinion. And the best one-liner is literally just one word, and it's sorry. And when you see the film and you see who says it and in what context, you're like, yeah.
I'd given up vote to go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Yeah. That was good. And I'd also give one to I Adore You, but I need the other guy.
Yes. Yeah, that was a nice moment.
Yeah.
So, let's go from the good of superheroes to the potential bad of superheroes and talk about Suicide Squad.
Okay, so...
So, reactions to the Joker.
We've just had a collective facepalm and eye roll here, like...
Is that in terms of the picture or the reaction?
Well, a little bit of both. I mean, in terms of the picture, does everything have to be so fucking super grimdark, ultra bleak in the DC? Well, it kind of is.
Well, yeah, especially if they're going along the lines that we think it's going to be. If this film is going to be... if it's rumoured that he's now going to be in Batman vs Superman as a flashback scene, which means that already what was going to be a super grimdark film is now going to feature Joker beating to death a teenage boy with a crowbar as a flashback.
Yeah, and the ruining... I can't even... I mean, I've expressed my frustration on so many shows about the whole DC Universe handling of the whole Batman vs Superman thing. I wasn't overly filled with confidence at Comic-Con last year when they announced the whole thing to the speech from Dark Knight Returns. And if you're going to have the Joker in that film and it's going to be based on Dark Knight Returns, which is what all the pre-production press was saying it was going to be.
But it doesn't look like it.
Well, because he has to fucking die.
Yeah.
Because he kills himself. He snaps his own neck to frame Batman. I don't think that's a spoiler, because I don't think what we see in Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice is going to in any way emulate anything we've seen in comics. I didn't like the trailer. I thought the trailer was awful. I thought seeing a cleaned up version of the trailer as opposed to a shaky cam pirate version of the trailer didn't make it any better. The whole... Oh, no. I don't know what direction they're going with the film, but it looks bleak. And I don't think that necessarily equates to good.
Yeah, fair.
I think you can have dark storylines without having to be so overtly oppressive in how you tell it. I think there is such a thing as subtlety and nuance in storytelling.
I think
DC just don't get it.
I still think that Suicide Squad might be a good film.
Yeah.
I still have high hopes for it just because it's the first kind of ensemble bad guy movie, and it's got characters in it and actors in it that you've got to take with a pinch of salt. Will Smith.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to take him with a pinch of salt, and it's got to be darkly comical.
Yeah. The casting is a little bit...
You know, you've got Harley Quinn in there, and you've got Joker in there, so there's going to be a lot of kind of sick, dark humour to it. There has to be. So I'm holding out hope for that as a standout film of the DC universe. Don't really care so much about Batfleck meets whatever his name is, Cavalman.
Yeah, well, apparently Batfleck's going to be in Suicide Squad as well.
Well, yes, so there's going to be a crossover between the two. So they've been I think Jared Leto was there on the set. Oh, no, sorry, Ben Affleck was rumoured to be around the set of Suicide Squad, and they've apparently done a bit of insert filming for a flashback for Batman vs Superman.
Right.
So that brings Joker into Batman vs Superman and brings Batman into Suicide Squad as a cameo.
Well
so that'll just be a cameo to tie them together. But I think the idea of Suicide Squad works, and I think if they approach it in the correct way, it can be funny and it can be an engaging film.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm holding out hope for that.
You are much more of an expert on Suicide Squad than I am, to be fair.
I love it. I love the comic. Again, it is darkly humorous because, you know, a lot of it focuses on Harley and kind of how she reacts to being in the situation that she's in. You know, and she occasionally escapes and goes on a rampage and stuff.
That certainly seems brilliant. Like the from what I've read, what I've seen, and stuff like that is what I think they're trying to focus on. I do have a little few things on it. With have you seen any of the outtake photos and stuff?
I saw the picture that was released today from the on-set,
which
is all of them.
The new Will Smith stuff.
There was the on-set where she was actually doing a scene, but there's the collective one. But Joker wasn't in the collective one.
No. See, I don't think he's going to be a big character.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to get to. Is like we're making a bit of an onus on the Joker bit. I don't think he is going to be in it a lot. He may be just an occasional cameo.
Yeah, I think so because I mean, in none of the comics I read, Joker is
which is a
part
good
of Suicide
thing.
Squad.
Yeah,
he's just too deranged to be in Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Which we've mentioned before.
Yeah.
That was our initial objection to the whole Joker being cast.
It was,
exactly.
And that's why. That's why I don't think.
I'm just hoping he's going to be used to tie it in, and then he'll probably appear in a later Batman film.
Yeah.
Or perhaps every now and then a quick flash of.
Well, he's referenced already because Harley Quinn's jacket, the back of it says property of the Joker.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, anyways, the reactions on the photos of the Joker.
I just hated it.
Was it the metal teeth or the damaged tattoo?
It was a little bit of both. Yeah, it was all the tattoos.
Yeah, but it's just
realistically,
it's just a photo, though. It's just a photo you don't know if it's taking the piss. You don't know if it was serious. You don't know at what perspective that was done.
No, but I guess you have to go on the lines of it was released by DC as a promo photo of what's happening in the film.
It was released by the director of the movie as a promo for the movie.
Yeah.
So at that point you go, okay, unless
That's
he's deliberately trolling an audience, which to be honest aren't completely sold on what DC are doing with the properties, so trolling them is probably not the best move. This is probably a legitimate photo, in which case, what the fuck?
I think it was a bit of a cheap piss take.
Because to be honest,
remains to be seen.
It does.
If he's tattooed to the extent he is, I mean, can you see the Joker sitting for a session on any of those pieces of artwork without fidgeting or killing his tattoo artist?
Yeah, indeed.
Maybe
they're too clean. He should be having scratched sort of prison tattoos.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, if it's going to be a character piece, then fine, go along that route.
Well, who's not to say that Harley did it?
Well, it's possible.
It
all remains to be seen.
But yeah, the reaction to the photo was the question. The reaction to the photo was I fucking hated it.
Yeah. Cool.
Fair.
Because it looked like fucking Marilyn Manson.
It did look a bit, it did, with green hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a wig.
So yes, I guess we shall wait and
Mansion.
see what happens with that.
Wait and see if the DC ship inevitably flounders and bursts into flames and crashes spectacularly into the rocks of cinema audiences.
So now we've had a downer, let's talk Star Wars.
Oh, fuck yes.
As we are Revenge of the Fifth thing today.
Yeah. So we haven't actually talked about anything since Celebrations. We haven't talked about the trailer. I was watching the live stream of Celebration from Anaheim. I was watching the J.J. Abrams panel, and they brought out BB-8 onto stage, which wasn't CGI. It was a fully working hard prop droid,
which was awesome.
Which was fucking awesome. And they brought out the new crew, the new cast rather. Ray, Poe Dameron, and oh god, who's the other guy?
Is it Boyega?
Yeah, his character. What's
I
it?
can't remember the name.
I can't remember it. Oh, that sucks. I still would. Anyway, the three of them have great chemistry off screen, and I think they're going to be amazing. Just the way they were on the panel, the way they interacted with the Q&A side of it, gave me so much confidence. They're going to handle the inevitable convention tour really well, I reckon. Then they brought out the old cast, of course. They brought out Mayhew and Hamill and Carrie Fisher. Yeah, and it was awesome. And listening to Abrams listening him talk about how he wanted physical sets, physical props, prosthetics, actors in makeup, people to interact with, for the actors to make it more believable and more real, filled me with more confidence. And it made me think, actually,
this could be good.
He might not have dropped the ball on this. It might be really good. I feel really good about this film.
So we won't be seeing squidgy red MacGuffins.
No, well, we probably will, but
he did kind of drop the ball, but it was a really cool ball.
Oh yeah, it was a BB-8, so it's fine. I was watching it thinking I am more hopeful than I've ever been about a Star Wars movie.
A New Hope. No, that's
a renewed hope, even.
A renewed hope, yeah.
Don't say things like that; they might steal it.
And then they were like, and now a special treat, here's the trailer for you, and the live feed that Anaheim cut off because they couldn't broadcast the trailer over the feed, and I panicked. And I went straight to Twitter, and I found it, and I braced myself, and I put the trailer on, and you got the opening sweeping panning shot, and then all of a sudden you see the Star Destroyer crashed.
Yeah,
and I
awesome.
fucking cried. It wasn't the Chewie we're home bit. It was like right at the start. I started welling up. I started getting teary, and I was like, that is possibly one of the most iconic shots I've ever seen.
And it didn't have lens flare.
And then the rest of the trailer played off from that, and it was just the most incredible thing.
It was very cool. I mean, I've broken. I think I'm not watching a lot of trailers, and I've watched the trailer for it, and really enjoyed it. It raises a lot of questions, and it points in a direction of something that we prophesized months ago, which is about a return to Endor.
Yeah, because no, just no.
Christmas
never,
special.
No, never that.
Eat your wow, Eddie.
Fuck's sake, dude. Because obviously the last time we saw Vader's helmet, he was on the Pine.
Yep.
So
on Endor.
So it means that the evil bad guy from this is basically two Ewoks.
Yep.
One on the shoulders of the other in a suit. Yeah.
We always said about what would a Jedi Ewok look like.
Didn't we see Jedi Ewok in Clone Wars?
Do we? Ah, okay.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a baby Wookiee. I can't remember. But no, Kylo Ren isn't two Ewoks on his shoulders. He's somebody else entirely.
He's most definitely a bit more badass.
Yes.
A couple of Ewoks.
So, the big questions that the trailer raises then.
Well, the speech that goes over the trailer is a replay, almost replay of Luke's speech to Leia at the end of Jedi.
Yes, it is. Very similar.
It's interesting in the way it's worded as well. He says, "My father has it."
Yes.
So whether he's just inferring the fact that as he still remains as a Force ghost, he still remains present, so he is still alive, so he can be referred to in the present tense, or whether that's just part of the Jedi script that they didn't flip. We don't know. Yeah. And then he says, and then in Jedi he says, my sister has it.
Yes.
That's you. And she goes, I always knew. In this, he doesn't. He says, my sister has it, and you have it.
Yes.
Now, is he talking to a particular offspring of Han and Leia by any chance?
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be, to be fair.
Well, it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be,
Expanded Universe. The Expanded Universe has more or less been stripped from canon, apart from one cool thing. As a side note, Boba Fett does escape the Sarlacc because he's in the trailer for Battlefront. In the expansion for the Battle of Jakka.
Oh dear Lord, the trailer for Star Wars Battlefront for the PS4. Oh, am I looking forward to it. You know how I said at the start of the year that was one thing I'm looking forward to?
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, the DLC Battle of is it Yucca or the new desert planet?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boba Fett's in that, so he has officially escaped the Sarlacc in current canon for Star Wars. Fuck
Hell yes.
So yeah. Wait. Oh yeah, who's he talking to?
Yes,
it
indeed.
doesn't have to be Jason, but it probably will be.
So then there's more questions of, you see the lines and lines of stormtroopers and just a dark figure standing on a stage right at the back.
Yeah.
So that's the First Order. First Order who are led by Kylo Ren. And then there's Captain Phasma, who is the Chrome Trooper we see in the trailer. That's been played by Gwendolyn Christie.
Good old Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah. That looks like it's going to be a kick-ass role. I cannot wait to see the Galactic Knights cosplay the Chrome Trooper, because that's just one hell of a costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who is that cloaked figure? Is it Kylo Ren? Is it Phasma? Is it somebody else? Is it an unknown character we haven't met yet? And they're on an ice planet that isn't Hoth, which kind of, it's nice in a way to see kind of the mirroring kind of weird symmetry between that and the original trilogy. With the rebel base on Hoth and now the First Order on their own secret base on an ice planet.
Yeah.
Then there's some other bits of a TIE fighter shooting up a shuttle bay with other TIE fighters in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's also an interesting bit where John Boyega takes off his Stormtrooper helmet, and he did kind of let slip at the panel that he is actually a Stormtrooper. His character is a Stormtrooper, because he got a pretty severe look from J.J. Abrams, because Abrams looked away after the question, and he kind of went, and Abrams caught him at the last minute out of the corner of his eye and just shot him a look that made him instantly sort of go, no, just kidding. But yeah, I think he's a Stormtrooper. But yeah, he takes off his helmet and his blood on the front of his helmet, which is kind of interesting. So he's definitely in over his head. But then to be fair, like, you could have cut the trailer for episode 4 and had like Han Solo just like taking off his Stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean shit.
Very true.
Indeed.
It doesn't actually mean anything. You don't know anything.
Luke taking off his helmet as a Stormtrooper.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have no idea of the context that scene's been set in.
No. But I think it raises some interesting questions in the trailer.
Yeah. And who... Because someone is clearly going around collecting Vader's artifacts. Because Ren's lightsaber with the cross hilt looks like Vader's old saber. A bastardized version that's been converted to have the cross hilt saber blades.
Yeah. And just pick up other artifacts, because one of them is Luke's saber that he loses in Empire.
Yeah, that gets dropped from Cloud City. Although that's above Bespin, which is a gas planet, so it's like disintegrated technically. But there's a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So who's found it? Is it Rey's character, who's the scavenger, or is it Lupita Nyong'o's character, who is meant to be a pirate, an alien pirate, because she's been featured with mocap headsets and mocap dots, so she's playing an alien of some kind. Just don't know. Who's going around? Who's collecting them? Who are they giving them to? Because although it says my sister has it in the trailer when she passes it back, and everyone's going, that's Leia. It's like, is it?
Indeed.
Is it Leia? And whoever's hand is passing it back is clearly an alien, because that arm is orange.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah. So maybe she's collecting them for somebody else. I don't know. But it doesn't ask lots of questions. Doesn't seem to give too much of the plot away.
So, revelations in the last couple of days, and
well, a lot more's been coming out because Annie Leibovitz did a Vanity Fair shoot on set, so there's loads more photos now. So we've seen like Kylo Ren without his mask. And that's where we got the character announcements of who Gwendolyn Christie and Lupita Nyong'o were actually playing. But no more than that, really. Although there's a lovely shot at the end of the video from the photo shoot of Han, Chewie, and the two new characters in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, which is pretty sweet. I was excited. I mean, like, I straight away, as soon as Celebration finished, and they were like, and Celebration 2016 will be held in London, I was just like, I'm going to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy
I
tickets
don't
now.
care.
Did, yeah.
So I went straight online. I was like, 70 quid. Yes, I'm doing that. And I saw some people from other sites, other podcasting geek sites out there who I have on Facebook saying, not buying my Celebration ticket just yet, going to see what I can get. And I was just like, no, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it, it's Star Wars. If you cannot pay to support Star Wars,
Indeed,
then you shouldn't be in this business. If you're just doing what you're doing to get free shit whenever you can,
a lot of people do. Yeah.
then just get out of it.
Yes.
yeah.
Because if something doesn't excite you enough to say it's £70, I'm paying that.
Yeah.
Then rethink what you're doing this for.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
So I was like, 70 quid, awesome. And I was like, hasn't been to London since 2007, so they had the options for, do you buy the Celebration lanyard, do you buy the Celebration t-shirt, the Celebration memorabilia guide?
All
of
it!
And I just went, yes.
All the things.
Yep. I went, 140 quid. I was like,
yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
That's what we were like with the Doctor Who 50th. We were just like,
Yeah.
yes, we're there.
Fucking
Yes, we'll have
buy
VIP
everything,
tickets.
yeah.
Yes, we'll have all the things.
All
Thank
the
you very
things,
much.
yeah.
And so it was like, yep. And I was like, have I just spent £140 to go to a Star Wars convention in 2016? I was like, yes.
You're
Yes,
lucky.
I
There's
have.
3 of us.
Yeah, that's true. But the VIP stuff.
To be fair, you've got 2 incomes though.
Yes.
And half price for children.
The VIP stuff sold out straight away. I mean, the VIP stuff was like £330 or something ridiculous
Yeah.
for the weekend ticket. But it was like, you got so much extra, and I was like, well, I couldn't afford that anyway, so I'm not gutted to have missed that. But I'm not missing getting weekend tickets.
Yeah.
So I was just like, fuck it. There's no way I'm going to fucking press passport blag this. It's just like, I can afford to pay for Star Wars.
Absolutely.
I'm paying for fucking Star Wars. So I'll be there next year. I'm debating the whole costume versus non-costume thing. I'll probably go non-costume because I kind of don't want to be part of the attraction. I just want to be lost in the experience. So
I'm not sure. I'll wait and see if I get press passes.
Yeah.
Dick move, bro.
You've been fucking hanging on for that one.
Yeah.
You were waiting for that opportune moment.
Okay, so rumour. So there's nothing's technically been confirmed yet. The Rap said a while back that the new anthology movie would be a Boba Fett film, and then the Rap confirmed their own hypothesis.
Indeed.
But in the story did say Disney have made no comment yet. The
Yes.
only thing Disney have commented on so far is that Josh Trank has left the series, whatever it is.
Yes.
The fact that Boba Fett has now been revealed to be part of the current canon suggests that maybe the rumours of him having a Fett movie aren't completely without foundation. I do think that the bounty hunter aspect of the Star Wars universe is certainly one that could be filled out.
Definitely.
It could, yes.
And could certainly be an interesting watch. So yeah.
Well,
We'll see
there was
how
that
it
whole
goes.
idea of the kind of bounty hunter series, wasn't there? That we were talking about 2
Ages
years ago.
yeah.
We've been talking about J.J. Abrams and Star Wars for, well, more since like episode 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much
But still,
since it
yeah,
started, yeah.
Particularly with the bounty hunter theme to it, we've been going.
That'd be
It should
brilliant.
do, and it would be a great way to spin off.
Yeah, it'd be excellent.
Maybe they just want to get a major fan based character, fan followed character. Sorry.
Maybe, but it's Star Wars.
To kick it off. No, you know what I mean. To kick it off.
Okay, maybe, but then they have the whole Rogue One thing, which is pretty much going to be sort of like unnamed people. I'm not sure. Is it original Death Star plans that Rogue One are going after, or is it the second Death Star plans?
Well, it'd be second because Rogue Squadron wasn't set up until Empire. Empire.
So it's the second one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to see some Bothans get killed then. Whatever happens. Okay.
Many Bothans.
Many Bothans died getting us this information.
Yes.
But no, that was the plan for the first Death Star.
No, that was the second one.
No.
Yeah, I've literally watched Jedi like less than 10 hours ago.
Of course, yeah, because it's Mon Mothma that says it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's not in the first one, so yeah.
Yeah, I've literally just watched all 3 films back to
All
back.
right.
That's just 'cause that's why I had to double check. You know,
Yeah.
which
This is
films
why
are
we
gonna be.
record in the studio. There's no table for Brendan to flip.
There actually is. Just
It's a very
behind me,
expensive
but
one.
Yeah, it's too expensive to flip tables in.
It's sort of too heavy. Cool.
Sweet.
So, yeah, Star Wars covered.
Yes. Very much.
I'm very much looking forward to next year as well. So yeah, and obviously next year, our Star Wars Day marathons are going to have to start slightly earlier.
Yes.
Because there's an extra film to get involved.
Yep. Indeed.
Yeah.
Or do you have to wait until the whole trilogy is out before you include it?
Nah.
No.
No, I think just add it on.
Just watch it.
But then it'll be incomplete.
It's fine.
And then
something dark side.
whatever you left at the end of the first one when you're going, I want more, damn you, Abrams.
That's when you just go and like rewatch the Clone Wars or start Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
You know?
Or watch the Star Wars Holiday Special again.
Because there's so much you could watch. There's so much Star Wars stuff you could watch. Go and watch Droids. Go and find that.
Go and read that book where Princess Leia and Luke get it on. There was a book released after Star Wars before
For Empire.
The big reveal.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was it Alan Dean Foster?
Oh, well, yes. Who
Right.
else would it be?
Yes.
Wow.
Splinter of the Mind's Eye, I believe
That
it was
good.
called. Yeah, before it had been established that Luke and Leia.
Isn't that a graphic novel?
It's incredibly graphic, yes.
Oh, I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Cool. Next.
Okay, so do you guys have anything to submit to Crowdfunder Corner?
No.
No.
No, we'll vet it possibly for next
Okay,
episode.
cool. Well, I have one to put in, which is a cyberpunk board / card game called Human Interface.
I have
which looks
seen that
kinda cool.
advertised lately.
That's currently running a Kickstarter, so yeah, if cyberpunk board / card games are your thing, then definitely one to check out. So I will stick the links to that in the show notes.
Amazing.
And I guess just picking up on the conventions thing of kind of where we're going to be in the coming months.
So-
Obviously, you're at UK Games Expo.
Yep. You are
I'm
MCM.
MCM London from the 22nd to the 24th. And then the 25th, I'm in Bristol for Lawgiver.
Lawgiver Mark II.
Lawgiver Mark
I
II.
know. That's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
It looks like I'll be doing quite a lot of stuff in the second panel room, and I think I'm already down for hosting ISO 101, which is the Dread version of Room 101.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm going to be running that
Cool.
panel along with a couple of others. So
Excellent.
for anybody who likes the Dread universe, come along. There's an interesting panel taking place there about bringing Dread to the screen, and I know that's got the guys involved in Judge Minty and Cursed Edge are part of that panel by the look of it. So.
Sweet.
That should be quite a cool one.
Because it's the Rule 32 guys
Yep.
who run it, and they ran it last year was the first Lawgiver, and it was a phenomenal success.
Yep, and that they've upgraded this year the venue and everything and the program. So yeah, it's looking like it's going to be an excellent day. So if Dread is your thing, then come along. It should be an excellent day.
And check out the events calendar on Wonky Spanner. It's got all the details for it.
Absolutely, and yes, now any registered users can submit events to that calendar now. So please go add your own events in there, and we will plug the hell out of them and maybe even turn up.
Yep. And I got someone working on a new NerdVsWorld logo, which we'll be putting on t-shirts. So there'll be merch soon as well.
Woohoo!
Yeah. and it's pretty flash.
It is pretty awesome. I've just seen
fancy. So anyone who's on my Twitter, who was following my Star Wars Day Instagram
I saw
tweets,
it on your screen.
Might have seen a sneaky tease of the new logo. So yeah, cool.
Lovely.
Okay, that's all for this episode. Thank you all very much for listening. I've been Brendan.
I've been Spindles.
And I've been Ailey.
And until next time, take care and be excellent to each other.